Welcome to the Pagan Perspective. My name is Angel and I'm your Friday host. And the topic is basically going to college and living your path in a dorm setting. I never lived in a dorm in college, so I have no concept of how that would be. However, I do have an idea of how it is to live in a situation where it's similar. Let me explain. After many years, 20 plus years of practicing, I moved back in with my folks in Mississippi for a couple years, and they are very Christian. So it was very difficult. My mom said she was allergic to incense, so I could never burn that. I don't really know that she was allergic, but she says she is. So, I'm gonna put the whole question down below. It's kind of lengthy, but I picked out 4 specific questions in here that I'm gonna answer. Basically, it says, while the university I plan to attend is generally regarded as very accepting, I am still unsure on what the experience will bring. Not knowing is kind of scary. Could you shed some light on how I would approach practicing in college? How open were you about your beliefs is the first thing. Again, didn't live in a dorm in college, so I'm going to say living in the South, which is rigidly Christian. I couldn't be very open with my beliefs. My family knew, my close friends knew, obviously, but wearing a pentagram out in public was not really a smart thing to do. So I would wear just stones or goddess symbols that were a little ambiguous. I didn't like being that way, but I lived in a little town that my parents are well known in, so I knew I wasn't going to live there forever, so I didn't want to upset their life, so I didn't really wear my pentagram out in public, so it wasn't really living out of the broom closet there. In a college setting, it's much more open-minded, I feel, unless you go to a very specific faith college. So you're going to find a lot of groups and activities to do there that's going to embrace a lot of different beliefs. What limitations did you encounter and how did you deal with them? Incense was a big limitation for me because I like to burn incense. Plus candles were kind of difficult. A lot of candles. My room was not huge, and for some reason any candle I burned would leave like a black mark on the wall. It didn't matter where I got it from. It didn't matter. It just, I don't know why. So when I did burn candles, I would burn them and I would burn it with herbs in it of the type of incense that I would normally burn. When I was doing inside ritual, which most of the time I did. If I needed to burn use any candles, I would get the battery lighted ones, and some of those are scented as well. So that was another thing I did to work around it. My mom had a really difficult time coming in my room because of my altar. And in the beginning I tried to make it not very noticeable, but after a while I just didn't care, and it was all hanging out there. So I think it was a slow process of working it in, basically. What about a roommate if they believe different? The thing is when you're going to college with people, most people I think, are prepared to live in dorms with a variety of people. Obviously, they're going to hope that they get somebody who's more like their thinking. But for the most part, I think you're going to find, if you're upfront with people in college at least, and you're open to a back and forth communication, you know, you shouldn't have any problems. I mean, there are going to be some people that are just, but that you're going to find that anywhere. As far as my roommate situation with my parents, I lived in their house, so I had to abide by their rules, which sometimes made things very complicated. And anytime I wanted to burn incense specifically, I had to take it outside and leave it outside, and then clean the container outside, and it couldn't smell at all like incense remnants or anything else. I think when you're dealing with a roommate, as long as you show respect for their like if they are allergic to incense, or let's say, you know, I'm not really sure what, because like I said, I didn't live in a dorm in college, so I think if you just have a mutual respect and understand what they're okay with, what they're not okay with, and they understand the same with you, then you should be, you know, have a decent experience. What's the best way to try and find other like-minded individuals on a college campus? Honestly, I think you're going to find a lot of maybe classes, and but groups and activities, especially at a college that's open-minded, because the person asking the question said the college they're going to is generally regarded as accepting. You should find a lot of things. I mean, I am a part of a group called Pagan Night Out in my local community. And actually, I'm going to be taking it over because the person who started it is moving to Virginia. Now, he worked at a college campus, and a lot of people came out for Pagan Night Out that were part of the college as students. So there may be activities like that where you could do a Pagan Night Out. We meet at a Panera Bread. You can find study groups that want to get together. Facebook is a huge thing with finding connections to people. I know some of the problems with people advertising pages is that you do need to pay for it to reach so many people. But all in all, I think that college campuses are going to be a lot easier for the most part to find other like-minded people, or at least accepting people, maybe people that are a little bit different than your faith but still under the pagan umbrella, that are willing to get together and at least have discussions and other activities with you. And the other thing I suggest is, when you're going to college, if you're going to college at a different town, I know I've relocated a lot of times, and in the past I used Witch Voice to connect with people. That's sort of an outdated social connection area that people don't really use anymore, because most people use Facebook. But dig deep into your local community, find out what is going on in your local community. Also, if there's any, look up and see if there's any pagan shops around where your college is. They may even be aware of, well, they probably will be aware of any activities going on. And if it's close enough to a college campus, it's any activities that are going on through the store or connected to the store are going to have other college kids there too, and that's a good way to make a connection as well. I'm sorry I didn't have enough information. Like I said, I didn't go to college I didn't stay in a dorm in college, so I didn't really have this experience. The only experience I had is the complications of living with parents that are very different minded than me, and having to navigate around that myself. So I hope this information helps. You can check out Witchbox. It's Witch Voice. I'll put the link in below. Like I said, it's kind of outdated, but there's still some useful information there. And if you go into down at the bottom, it'll say, you know, find shops or activities in your town. You click on that, and it'll take you to your state. Click on the state, and it'll give you all the towns that have activities going on. And at least if you reach out to somebody through there, even if they're not doing that activity anymore, they may be doing something different that they haven't posted on there. And also look through Facebook. You know, Google, search stuff through Facebook. You may find stuff through there in the town that you're going to, or the area you're going to, that you can kind of get a jump on before you even go there. So thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. And until next time, thanks for watching, and blessed be. Bye.